everybody, it is Romania Black, and we are on episode 6 of Thousand Autumns, and I am just here for it. I'm just here for it. I'm here for the fangirling. I am here for everything that comes with this series, and I'm excited to dive into this episode. I'm not gonna lie. Before we start, we do have a comment from Rose Jennison for episode 4 that I feel needs to be discussed. One part of it said, Yan Wushi really is just following Shen Qiao around being like, aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go apeshit? Yes, that is the vibe. The whole time I was like, am I getting the quote right? Am I getting the Beyonce quote right? Am I getting it right? And then, yes, that is, Yan Wushi really is the Beyonce of Donmai at this point to me. I don't really know if Yan Wushi can do anything wrong. They're like Shen Qiao. These two precious angel beings, I have no qualms against them. They can do no wrong to me. They also said in their comment, I appreciate your thoughts on Qinggong this episode. I feel like too often we forget the fourth F. We've got fight, flight, freeze, but there's also fawn, which is exactly what Qinggong resorts to here. Whether or not we can count on him telling the Duke about Shen Qiao or coming back to help the Duke later as part of this is debatable. But the point stands that at the end of the day, most people will do whatever it takes to survive. I like fawn. I like that it's like, I'm going to try to finesse you. I'm going to try to flirt to fawn to get on your good side. If it's not begging, but it kind of is if I need to survive. I mean, I can't really blame Qinggong for what he's doing. I can't be mad about it. I just, we're over here as the audience being like, but you're supposed to be friends with Shen Qiao, but what can we do? What can we do? So I'm super excited about this episode. Last we checked, we've got this big conference, this heroes conference, as it were, happening 10 days from now. UI has been cornered by Shen Qiao and said that he'd been poisoned by him. So we're going to see where that goes. That's going to be interesting. And then apparently there's supposed to be a Tao priest picked at this conference. And Yan Wushi was like, you should just call out UI at the conference. And Shen Qiao was like, I'll meet him in private because that's going to go well. We'll see. But I really needed to watch this episode because I wanted to see what was going to happen. So before we begin, we have someone new, speaking of Rose Jennison, that has joined our philanthropy tier over on Patreon. And I want to give them a special shout out this week along with everybody else on our philanthropy tier. If you're watching me every Mondays as I go through Thousand Autumns, I understand in this economy, it can be hard to support on Patreon. I fully understand that. If you cannot support on Patreon, please like this video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel so every Monday you'll see updates about me looking at Thousand Autumns. But if you do want to give a shout out and get a shout out and give some support to my channel, I do have a Patreon. The link is on my homepage. And those in the philanthropy tier get shout outs in my videos. They get to break ties if we have them in the polls. And they also get the perks of getting Discord access as well as everything a week early than everybody else on YouTube. So it's kind of a small group on Patreon, but they get the perks that everybody else on the internet does not. So good for them. And I'm super appreciative of the support. So thank you to Alex Cornejo, to our moderator, Be Happy, for this channel, as well as to Dana, Damage3245, Devorin, Destiny Marie, Daniel, Ichu, Eric, Fisho, Ghostly Turnip, El Freya, Lyndon, Murphew, James, Willie Morris, as well as Sunspots, Shimoyama, Translucent Men, and also Diana Williams, Nicholas, Sean, and of course, Rose Jennison. So thank you all so much for your support, and I really, really appreciate it. All of my love, as y'all know. So yeah, with that being said, I like to keep these intros if I can under 5 minutes. So I am ready to start. I cannot wait. It's going to be fun. So we're starting at the 2 minutes and 25 second mark for episode 6 of Thousand Autumns. And we're doing that here in 3, 2, 1. And let's do it to it, Lars. Oh my gosh! This series is so much fun to fangirl to. It is so much fun to fangirl to. Y'all know. I'm sure you know, but oh my god, Yan Wushi is so swoon-worthy. He is the definition of swoon. Teenage Romania would have been drooling. Teenage Romania would have been falling down. I'm still very much like, oh yes, Yan Wushi, sir. But Teenage Romania was all about a bad boy. I grew up liking a bad boy, and I like a bad boy that seems like they have a little under the surface that is somewhat good intentions. Like maybe not plain entirely fake, but here's the thing. Yan Wushi's agenda, I mean, we know what Yan Wushi's agenda is. Yan Wushi's agenda is very derivative to get into the robes of a certain saint. So there's that. But I do feel like he wants to have Shen Qiao prove. It's really weird. Yan Wushi has like a Lucifer vibe to him. He has a demon vibe. And there's a part of me that's like, is the way they talked about him in this episode, they're like the king of evils. I'm like, well, that's usually like a title for a demon. But I feel like if he was a demon, I'm used to like scum villain self-saving system. In that story, the demons are well known and you come out and you're like, you're a demon. And it's like that. In Heaven Official's Blessing, it's like deities and ghosts, so it's not really demons necessarily in that series. And Modao Zushi, it's very much, there are no demons, supernatural things. It's just like there are people and they're either monsters or they're not, but there's not really a demon element to it. There's ghosts maybe and ghouls, but it's not any like demons. And then in Word of Honor, there's not really demons in that series. So I don't know the world building of this, if there are demons and Yan Wushi is a demon. I don't want to know, so don't tell me. I'll figure it out either in this 16 episode jaunt or I'll figure it out in the novel. So just let your girl cook. Let me figure it out when I do, and I'll make sure the moderators know that as well. So be happy. Don't let people tell me if he's a demon or not. I want to find it out when I read the book. But, I mean, I could see it. If you told me he was, I'd be like, oh, of course. But I feel like they would have said, like, unless it's a translation thing, they would have said demons. Or by wrong, does that make by wrong a demon? You know, there's just not enough in the world building that's been told yet. But Yan Wushi does kind of have a Lucifer vibe to him, especially in the last scene. That last scene, we'll talk about it. But I feel he wants to have Shen Qiao prove that he is pure. Which is interesting. He wants Shen Qiao to, like, literally, as, you know, Rose Jennison said, don't you ever want to go ape shit? He wants Shen Qiao to lose it and defend himself, I think, because he wants him to, like, you know, get, you know, comeuppance for what happened to him, or to give comeuppance to UI and the others, but Shen Qiao is too pure. So he's like, well, fine. He's like, prove to me that you're pure, whatever. Whatever his end goal is, the dynamic of him and Shen Qiao, it gives me a lot of Shilian and Hua Chong in Heaven Official's Blessing. It gives me a lot of them, but I'm gonna be honest, it's too early. It's too early to say if I like them more. It's too early because Shilian and Hua Chong are like two of my favorite Don Mai couples. They're like two of my favorites. It's too early to say if that's true or not, but I am head over heels because Shen Qiao is not like, he's not a Gary Stu where he's just everything's perfect and they all go his way. He's had some shit happen to him. And he's not a saint necessarily. There is a limit to his saintliness, because at one point he's like, well, if I didn't think he needed my help, I wouldn't do it. And it's like, oh, okay. So he has a limit, but Shen Qiao is over and over again given benefit of the doubt. And you would understand why he'd give benefit of the doubt, because UI is literally his childhood friend, his brother in arms, and UI so easily betrayed him. And I'm like, nope. I'm like Yan Wushi. I'm like, nope. We don't do that. And so I get that we'll talk about the whole episode. We just need to talk about it. But I love the dynamic between Yan Wushi and Shen Qiao. I love their dynamic. It's so good because Yan Wushi is still mysterious, but his laugh, every time he laughs, I live. So yeah. And Yan Wushi just keeps wanting to fight Shen Qiao. He keeps wanting to fight him. And I'm like, is this y'all's foreplay? Is this how we're getting around the censorship? He's like, we could have another battle or a tussle, a roll in the hay, as they say. And Shen Qiao's like, I don't know what you mean. I need him to look, the moment Shen Qiao gets his eyesight back and sees them big old chesticles in his face, he might decide the evil gang's where it's at. I would be swooned. I would be easily swayed. The hearts of men are easily swayed, as they say. So yeah, As Yan Wushi is manspreading in front of his curry, he's telling Shen Qiao about the Yutai Tao meeting that's supposed to be happening. And Shen Qiao is like, well, why would I want to do that? And he's like, past affections have become diluted. So then we go back and we get to this. He's like, if UI bullies you, remember to call me. I'm like, oh my God, you were hanging out waiting for it to go down. You didn't even need to be called. So then he confronts him. And man, UI, the lighting in this series did nothing to help UI's claimed innocence. Nothing at all. It's like he could not look more villainous in this episode. I get a little bit of I don't want to do a disservice to Yao in Modao Zushi. I don't want to do a disservice, but it gives me Yao vibes a little wee bit. UI does. But so here's what we know. He's like, you could just stay here a couple days and then, give me some time for an explanation. Which I'm like, oh, you need time to think of a story? Is that what it is? And the moment he hands the tea to Shen Qiao, it's like his memory is jogged and he suddenly remembers everything that went down. And he's like, when I battled with Kunye that day, I found my chi was blocked and I was severely poisoned. And it was useless for me to hold on then. I thought about it carefully, but I couldn't figure out when I had been poisoned or where. And that's when he remembered. He's like, anyway, I didn't think about you until recently. And then he's like, I recalled many details. And I like that UI is like, who told you? How did you figure out? UI looks so suspicious. One day before I battled with Kunye, you offered me a cup of tea like this. So he's like, yeah, he had 2 cups. I hope our chief will return after the battle tomorrow. Yeah, just the animation makes UI look the most suspicious in this entire house. So basically what we had happen was that UI gave the poison, to poison Cusco's poison, to poison Shen Qiao, Shen Qiao's poison. He basically gave it to Shen Qiao. Basically, UI is Kronk in this scenario from Emperor's New Groove, and Kunye is Yzma. That's essentially it. That we talked about that earlier. It's all coming together now. It's all coming together. So yeah, does that make Yanshan the squirrel? Might. So he gave the poison to Shen Qiao, and then one day later, Shen Qiao went to battle Kunye. So the battle with Kunye was planned, or they had planned for. So that makes more sense. Kunye had planned the battle and had got UI to help set it up, had got UI to poison him and lure Shen Qiao there. That's what was going to happen. And Shen Qiao, who's as trusting as a baby kitten, oh my God, the poison and everything. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, Grandmaster advised me. What does he say there? He said something that went by really quick. Grandmaster advised me to take good care of my peers when he was dying. The righteous sword is one of the 3 carry-on swords of his. So let's put this on here. We have 3 carry-on swords. Right now, we have 1 sword was given to UI from Shen Qiao. We have Woe for All, which Yan Wushi has from Shen Qiao. And then there's this 3rd mystery sword that we don't know where it went. We don't know if Yan Chan has it. We don't know who has it. It is one of the swords. Maybe it's buried with him. I don't know. He's like, you aren't in. This is the part that kills me. So he drank the poison and then says this to UI, who probably felt bad after it was said. You would hope he would have felt bad. He said, you're not inferior to me in either seniority or experience. If any accident happens tomorrow, or if I lose to Kunye and humiliate Mount Xuandu, take over the position of chief on the basis of this sword. Which UI was like, thanks, Yoink. Yeah, UI didn't even say, oh, no, I couldn't possibly take it. I mean, he was just like, okay, sure, thanks. Hope that doesn't happen. Wink, wink. Yeah, like, what? And he's like, okay. And he's like, Shen Qiao. And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. He drank the whole dang cup. The whole dang cup. Left nothing at the bottom. And he's like, you got it right. I did add poison to the tea. but I didn't mean to kill you. And Shen Qiao's like, what did you mean to happen? I like that. He's like, I expected you to lose in the final battle against Kunye. And then with your kung fu skills, even if you fell off the cliff, the quantity in the tea, it wouldn't be deadly to you. I'm like, you still planned it. But things didn't turn out as I expected. Another man found you. He's like, well, the poison was rare and not even available here, so where'd you get it? And that's when Shen Qiao's like, oh, shit, you got it from Kunye. So I'm like, I don't know how UI was going to spin this. I don't know how UI hoped to spin this, because then he had the battle with Kunye, and he was just banking. I'm like, UI, my dude, you are thoroughly cooked. Because he was banking on the poison, which Kunye knew was a deadly rare poison. I'm assuming unless he told UI that it wasn't deadly and rare, and he was like, oh, it's just gonna knock him out for a couple days, he'll be fine. Unless he specifically told UI that, UI knew how dangerous it was. And so he was like, oh, he was banking on the poison to cause Shen Qiao to lose the battle. But I'm also like, you can't spin this. UI cannot spin this in any way that is favorable to him. Because if he was like, oh, I just put a little poison in your tea, I didn't think it was going to cause you to like fall off the cliff. I thought you'd still have it. What? You still are poisoning him so he would lose the battle so you could take over his position. Are you kidding? There is no way in which this was remotely sane. Like, no. And then Shen Qiao's like, I'm fine with you poisoning me, but conspiring with Beimu, who our master had beef with, where's the loyalty? I love the Shen Qiao. I don't love it, but it's rich that Shen Qiao is like, you can do whatever you want to me, but how dare you dishonor our master's memory by conspiring with the enemy, is basically what he's saying. And I'm like, care more about yourself too, Shen Qiao. But yeah. And he's like, just to prevent me from becoming the chief. And he's like, oh, please allow me to explain. I'm like, what is there to explain? He's like, just tell me and I will surrender the leadership to you. I love that at this point, Shen Qiao's like, wow, look, I'm already poisoned. I'm insulted. I had been basically exiled against my will. You can have the leadership position, but I just want you to let me go. Tell me and explain what your reasoning is, and then I'm going to peace out. Like, I don't blame Shen Qiao at all for this. He's like, I don't understand why you had to conspire with Beimu at the he's like, why'd you have to betray our friendship? If you wanted to be chief, we could have just talked about this. And that's when UI's like, well, and UI looks better once he gets outside. He looks a little more sympathetic. He's like, well, Mount Xuandu has to change. He's like, you've been an old hermit. And so basically, here's the thing. UI and Yanqin, they say that Xuandu needs to change. They basically are saying that Qiufeng's ways are outdated and that Shen Qiao was a recluse and wasn't serving the sect right. Which, I know it's been a couple years, but maybe Shen Qiao was grieving. Maybe he was grieving the loss of his master and he just hadn't really figured out what to do with it yet, And also, y'all could have talked to Shen Qiao. He seems pretty reasonable. Although, I say he's pretty reasonable, but when it comes to his old master and his sect, he's pretty firm and rigid. And those two descriptors are things that Yan Wushi would like me to tell you describe Shen Qiao, and also Yan Wushi when he's around Shen Qiao. So, I have too much fun with this episode. This episode is great. But yeah, it's like on the one hand, yeah, Shen Qiao probably would not have gone along with you all saying you needed to change the sect because he would have been like, what? There's no problems. But on the other hand, you could have at least tried and then poisoned him. They didn't even try. They didn't even try to talk to him. They were just like, we know that Shen Qiao's not going to accept anything different, so let's just poison him. He's like, you locked yourself up without caring about anything outside. Well, that's called grieving. However strong, its dominance will be gone one day. And that's kind of the thing. Kunye is playing upon people's greed, and he's playing upon people's greed for power. and he's trying to get these books for the celerity, and he's preying upon Mount Xuandu with UI and Yanshin being like, aren't you guys tired of being like the sect without any influence or affluence? Why don't you team up with me, and then we'll spread all the spoils out, and you guys will be rich like me, and we'll all just be cool together, and you won't have to be this little quiet sect that's not doing anything, because Shen Qiao's like, you know, respecting his master's wishes or whatever. And that's basically what they did. That's basically what they did. So he's like, I never thought of replacing you. I'm like, oh, well, you didn't think of replacing him. You poisoned him. And then he said if anything happened and he lost the battle, you could replace him. That seems like you knew. He's like, cooperating is just part of my plan. Well, it'd be nice if you told. And then whenever Shen Qiao's like, tell me your plan then. He's like, oh, you don't need to know now. I'm like, then you either don't have a plan or you're lying, you know? He's like, well, you're back now. Please don't leave. Stay here and cure your wounds, okay? And he looks like UI tries to look like a little puppy dog, but Shen Qiao's like, what's your plan with Beimu? Tell me, bitch. Like, he's not playing. I love Shen Qiao being serious. And he's like, well, I can't tell you for now. Why is he going to stay with you if that's the case? That's such a lie. No. He's like, what if I object? I like the animation of this, for the record, the animation of this episode, I loved. I really like how they animated UI. Yan Wushi, and then Shen Qiao was great. There were parts of this episode, especially with UI versus Yan Wushi, that reminded me of like a Final Fantasy cutscene. I'm not mad about that. I mean that as a compliment. I was living. I was like, yes, please, I'd watch this all day. If I object, you'll put me under house arrest and turn me into a nominal chief in custody. So I won't affect your plan, won't you? Basically, Shen Qiao calls him out. He's like, basically what you want me to do is just be here as a puppet chief and be sick inside, locked away, like I was before, only that was by choice, and now it's against my will, so that I will basically seem to be in agreement with your actions. Because if you think about it, I'm sure there are a lot of people that still like Shen Qiao and still do support him within the sect. Even, I mean, they said 3 of the 7 elders did. So 4 of them didn't, but 3 of them did. That's almost half, you know. So some of them support him. So they're like, well, if we have Shen Qiao in our clutches and he's kind of disabled and can't do anything, then they'll go along with what we want because they'll think that Shen Qiao is going along with it too. Essentially is it. And I loved it. I was like, I need Yan Wushi with some magnifying glasses being like, what a moron. And we didn't the magnifying glasses or the binoculars, but I'm here for it. I'll take it. What a moron. And then he goes up. He's like, how dare. So yeah, I'm guessing that is Qiao Fong on the mountain that's engraved there. I'm assuming that's it. So yeah. Then he's like, the truth you're looking for is possibly beyond your endurance. I like that he thinks of Yan Wushi in that moment. Do you still insist on going back? Can he see Yan Wushi? I don't feel like he can see him yet. He just hears his voice. And then poor Shen Qiao has like an attack, like a poison attack. He's like, don't you still recognize it? Why do you think I can stabilize and become the interim chief in such a short time? 3 of the 7 elders don't care about the temporal affairs while the other 4 support me. Oh, so basically he's saying that 3 of them just don't care either way and 4 of them support him. That's a way to put it. Your idea of minding our own business isn't feasible now. Yeah, the world is in chaos. Mount Xuandu cannot remain isolated. And it's just like one of those things when there's conflict and war and chaos and you're like a neutral party, and it gives me flashbacks. It gives me history flashbacks to like World War II. You're like a neutral party, and then, you know, there's the opportunity to get involved, and you're like, well, we just need to take it. And it's like, do you? Do you need to take it? I feel bad for Shen Qiao. I really do. Because he came back, he's like, do you work with Kunye just to support Beimu? and take over and rule in the Central Plains. Yeah, and that's kind of the point. Shen Qiao's like, are we really just, helping out a world in chaos, or are you profiting from this decision? And that's why you're doing it, because that's not the way I was taught. And and of course, UI's like, oh, of course not, as I look away suspiciously, because Shen Qiao can't see you. He's like, I told you, my cooperation with Kunye is part of my plan. I'm like, but is it really part of your plan that's not going to work? Beimu is brutal and ferocious. I won't choose it as my partner, even if I hope to gain honors for our sect. And at this point, Shen Qiao becomes like a little kitten, like a little drowned kitten. And I want to hug him and cradle him. That poison's acting up. That poison that he could clearly recover from. Okay, Jan, what does UI plan to do? If you come back now, we can maintain our brotherhood without any estrangement. And he just like stalks Shen Qiao. Your ruminant poison is eliminated and your interior wound isn't healed. Mount Xuandu is your home. And Shen Qiao just pushes him away like, you poisoned me, bitch. Don't get your hands off of me. Those without common goals don't work together. Shen Qiao is, if anything, stubborn, persistent. If he does not like you, or if he thinks your goals don't align, he's like, this is not going to work. Which is kind of interesting because he tolerates Yan Wushi. So that's interesting. But here he's pissed at UI and he's like, I'm not going to act as a puppet chief. No. From now on, take good care of yourself. And I like that, because UI needs Shen Qiao. He needs him. But Shen Qiao is like, I'm not going to be used by someone. And then he's like, leave. The fight scene with them in the bamboo stick and the way that UI gets really aggressive right after that. Oh, I love the fight scene with the bamboo stick. It is so good. And he's like, you do remember the wound at your waist was caused when you fell off a tree as a kid. Although it's been healed, you try to avoid it instinctively on touch. If you cherish your brotherhood, why don't you stay and help me? Because you poisoned him, bitch! I'm like, it's one thing to like hold him hostage and ask him to help, but it's another thing to literally poison him and leave him for dead. And then be like, why aren't you staying to help? And it's like, well, why do you think? Oh my God. I do like that Shen Qiao like remembered that about him. That was really good. He's like, I can't just stay here because I cherish. He's like, just because we grew up together does not mean I'm going to support your horrible decisions. The previous chiefs of Mount Xuandu never cared about the affairs of the outside, let alone cooperate with Beimu. He's like, you've insulted our ancestors. You've insulted the founders of this sect. And I like that UI doesn't have a response to that. He doesn't have a response to that. He doesn't respond to Shen Qiao being like, you're disrespecting everything our sect stands for. So that's why I'm mad. Instead, he attacks Shen Qiao with his little like shovey hand energy that he does. And poor Shen Qiao blocks it with the bamboo stick. This part here got me. He's like, stop fighting and come back with me. And the parallel here, because you know what? Yan Wushi has fought Shen Qiao. Yan Wushi has been laughing like an evil mustache twirling villain, but Yan Wushi has not really tried to poison or hurt Shen Qiao. So, I mean, he's kept him in the dark about a couple things, but he's not actively trying to hurt him. And so I feel like I don't see, maybe the novel will be different. I don't see any like shipping between these two, but this definitely felt like a shippy move where the one guy UI offers his hand to Shen Qiao and Shen Qiao like tosses it away and then they like fight each other with the palm strikes. And as he is going, oh my gosh, the bamboo to the back, I was not ready when he like was gonna like pop him with the bamboo and he grabbed it. UI grabbed the bamboo pole and javelin thrust it into our beautiful, angelic kitten man. And luckily, Shen Qiao barely dodged it. I thought he got hit with it. And then that's when he strikes him. Blood goes everywhere and knocks him into the temple, which Yan Wushi has destroyed no property on the Mount Xuandu sect, but you've already destroyed something, sir. Man who is chief. So, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Poor him. Poor Shen Qiao. Like, now we see your true colors. And I like how UI's like, you forced me into a corner when he literally is the one that forced Shen Qiao into a corner. And he's like, don't run away. Why are you so stubborn? And Shen Qiao's like, I don't want to hurt you. Why? Oh, he says, I don't want to hurt you. Why can't you change your mind? And Shen Qiao's like, I was just walking away. Leave me alone. And he offers the hand again. Shen Qiao won't take it. And then that's when Yan Wushi's like, only a moron won't escape when he knows he'll be under house arrest. He's like, who is that? I love it. And then boom, there he is. Ah! I love that Yan Wushi's like, do you blame him? This man. The power of this man. Ah! I love the look on UI's face. Like, who the hell are you? Why are you near my childhood friend? I didn't approve of any of this. Love it. Now, I love that Shen Qiao offered his like hand to Shen Qiao's left hand and he didn't take it. And then Yan Wushi offers his hand to Shen Qiao's right hand and he does take it. The poetry! Love it. So yeah, he's like, Leader Yan, you don't have to do that. And he's like, I can handle it myself. He's like, really? Last time I checked, you were thrown into a building. Can you handle it? He's like, do you want to stay? He's like, do you really want to stay disconnected from me? Flirting. Flirting even in the midst of battle, y'all. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, not against this guy. I love that he says no way. And he just goes, yoink. And he floats away. I was like, for some reason, this is going to sound absolutely crazy. But for some reason, my mind went to Spyro the Dragon, the PlayStation game. Do not ask why. Do not ask why. But just, I feel when they're floating to the end of the pier, it just felt like Spyro floating across the air. I love it. I freaking love it. Just him floating away with him. And UI's like, the fudge? He wounded you so badly while you had already been poisoned. I don't think Chief Fengge would feel reassured, even in hell. Look, Yan Wushi, I believe, said he knew Chief Fengge back in the day. However long that ago, we don't know how old Yan Wushi is. But he was laying on the schmoozing thick. He was like, your old master who you love more than anything. I was totally on board with him. He would be so ashamed by UI. Can you believe him? And I'm like, you're not fooling anyone, Yan Wushi. Trying to get on Shen Qiao's good side. Mm-mm. And poor Shen Qiao's like, thank you for your help, but you don't have to be here. I got this. And he's like, internal affairs? You think those despicable practices of UI are internal affairs? He's like, don't get him involved with us. I freaking just, from the halfway point of this episode on, I love it. So he says, Leader Yan, are you Yan Wushi, the king of evils? Why did you come here? And Yan Wushi says, I don't like the title King of Evils. So there's something we've got. Yan Wushi does not like the King of Evils title. That makes me think that either he got that title out of a rumor or misunderstanding, or it's one of those, it feels like as far as a Game of Thrones reference goes, it feels like the episode in Game of Thrones where Tyrion, who is played by Peter Dinklage, Tyrion is convicted of a crime, and he didn't do the crime, for the record, but they put him on trial, and it's one of my favorite Peter Dinklage monologues is that character where he's like, I wish I was the monster that you think I am, but I'm not. But he's like, but if that's what you want, I'll be it. And so that's the kind of vibes I get with Yan Wushi. He's like, I don't like this King of Evils title. I feel like Yan Wushi was done dirty back in the past, and now he's mad about it, and he was unjustly served, and so he just leaned in to the unjustness and was like, fine, you want me to be King of Evils? Fine, I don't like the title, but I'll be it if you want me to. If you want me to be your devil, I'll be your devil. And so I feel like him tempting Shen Qiao in a lot of ways is projection of him being like, I was told all these things and I was betrayed, so I took revenge. Are you going to do the same? And Shen Qiao's like, well, we're just built a little bit different. So yeah, he's like, I want to go. It's none of your business. I just God. And then they come back to Shen Qiao and he's all hunched up in the corner. This angel baby, this precious being. Did you lead him here? How could you lead someone of the Ingle gang? And Shen Qiao's like, I really was blind, so I don't think I could have led him here. I think Shen Qiao's like, I can't see, so, Also, he doesn't have his bamboo stick anymore, so I wonder if Yan Wushi's going to give him his sword back. And, that one, he's like, how could you get along with the evil gang? That bitch slap was palpable. I was like, oh, Yan Wushi's like, don't you talk bad about him. Keep my lover's name out of your mouth, is what that was giving. He's like, Qiao. He's like, you aren't that familiar. I'm like, Yan Wushi pissed at anybody attacking his tiny angel baby is like, Shen Qiao also, I love, Shen Qiao's so perfect. And his eyes looked brown there. They've looked blue in the past, but man, UI was pissed. He's like, Yan Wushi, how dare you challenge me? And Yan Wushi's like, would we call this a challenge? Would we call this a challenge? He uses the sword that Shen Qiao gave him, and Yan Wushi's like, that feels like a bit of an insult. Whenever he had the smile, though, I'm like, I love it. I love it. And he has his own swords, which is great. So, I don't know if the swords he has are the swords that, is it from the Woe for All sword or what? I don't know. I'm a little curious about that. He does have, like, the shield that he puts up for most of it. Poor Shen Qiao. He's like, Mount Xuandu was on his trip here. Have you been enchanted by saying something in favor of the evil gang? I like that Shen Qiao's like enchanted. He's like, he really hasn't. I like that Shen Qiao thinks about that for a second. And he's like, was I enchanted? He's like, no, I just kind of, if you can conspire with Beimu, why can't I get along with the evil gang? That is a statement. I feel like because this entire time, like, Yan Wushi has not really, he's like, I'm going to follow you and protect you, whether you like it or not. And if you want to join my gang, you can. And Shen Qiao has been like, no. I feel like this was kind of the straw that broke the back because, you know, Shen Qiao has been denying. Shen Qiao has said no repeatedly to Yan Wushi, being like, no, I don't want to go with you. No, I'm not going to join you. No, I'm going back to Xuandu. Shen Qiao's like, I have shown loyalty to my sect and wanting to go back and see you again, dear bro. And then when I get back, I found out that at the drop of a hat, you said yes to Kunye, who's maybe the real evil gang in this, and you didn't even have to think twice. You even conspired against me premeditated. So he's like, I feel like it's okay if I stick with Yan Wushi. I'm doing the same thing you've done. I like that Shen Qiao gets a little petty here. I like it. And Yan Wushi's like, yes, be petty. I like it when you're petty. Oh, that look that Yan Wushi gives, it's like 13 minutes in. The animation does wonders with him. I love it. He's like, you. Poor Shen Qiao, he's like, Leader Yan, it isn't a courtesy to come here without prior notice. I have to handle our internal affairs, so leave now. And he's like, no, I don't think I will. He's like, nonsense. No one in the world can stop me. I like that he is just sitting there, one hand on his hip, on his flamboyant ass hip, taking on UI with one hand, being like, that vibe there gave me Hua Chong vibes 100%, where he's like, nothing in the world can stop me. If Chi Fengge were here today, I might show him some respect. I love that he's like, saying it within earshot of Shen Qiao, being like, hey, your master, I'm getting brownie points with you, right? Because I'm totally respecting him right now. I'm totally respecting your dead master, not respecting the man that poisoned you. We're all great, right? I'm getting brownie points, am I? Please tell me that I am. He's like, but you're nobody. I was like, huh? And he's like, the righteous sword, good sword, but you're really low. And then Shen Qiao's like, oh, please don't hurt him. He was terrible, but he is still my friend. And that sword's really nice. Don't destroy it either. Yeah, I love the showdown there. It's great. And poor Shen Qiao, he looks so innocent there. He's like, why is my best friend poisoning me? And why is this man standing up for me? What's going on? He's like, I don't recommend you minding others' affairs. And then that's when he's like, was that the shooting fingers? Interesting. So then Yanchen shows up. And he's like, hey, what's going on? Oh, who's this bro? Oh my God, who is that? What are those massive pecs? He's like the leader of the Xuandu sect. The evil gang, the king of evils. And he's like, oh, thanks. He's like, oh, are you the chief disciple of Chief Ingay? I used to battle with your master. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so they're all disciples of Chief Ingay. Chief Ingay was the only guy that could beat Yan Wushi. Okay, so he's basically reveals that Chief Ingay was the only one to beat him. It kind of sounds like Yan Wushi had a little bit of a crush on Chief Ingay, a little bit perhaps, or at least highly respected him. So maybe now that he's gone, he's like, oh, his like one disciple. Maybe what he likes in Shen Qiao is that he sees some of Shen Qiao's master in him and he appreciates that and that draws him to him. Maybe, interesting. None of his disciples really matter. Well, you say that, but Shen Qiao matters, right? And he's like, despite your outstanding martial arts, we have many people on Mount Xuandu. He's like, we'll outnumber you. We could conquer you here. And he's like, do you explore? Uh-huh. Okay. Do you want to stay here forever? And Yan Wushi's like, well, no, not really. I want to leave with Shen Qiao. He's like, Mount Xuandu is valueless to me without Chief Ingay. I think he had a crush on Chief Ingay and it didn't work out. And now he's like, hey, disciple, you resemble him quite a bit. You know, maybe it could work out between us. You know, I realized the errors of my ways in not confessing to Chief Ingay before. And that's when he looks at Shen Qiao and says, are you just going to stay here and be on house arrest, you know, with UI that poisoned you? And I like that they all ask him, they're like, how can you get along with the king of evils? And Shen Qiao's like, I literally am blind. He's like, I missed that. He's like, nice to see you too, Yanshun. I was like, oh my God, that petty Shen Qiao is so good. Petty Shen Qiao, I am living for him. I love that he was like, oh, nice to see you too. Fancy that, mother trucker. I live. He's like, are all the rumors true? Are the rumors true, you ask? He's like, but how? The king of evils, Qiao. Together, what? And Yan Wushi's like, oh, they're spreading rumors about us? Oh my. I love his evil laugh. It's great. He's like, go ahead. Go ahead, Yanshan. He's like, are you ready to elect UI as your new chief? One thing I do like is that Yan Wushi takes a step back. He like yoinks out of the situation and lets Shen Qiao have a moment with Yanshun to talk about what's going on. I actually like that because Yan Wushi's really just there to protect Shen Qiao because Shen Qiao can't see and defend himself. As Shen Qiao says, he's only at 30%, you know? So I like that he's being respectful and letting Shen Qiao have these moments, but the moment Shen Qiao needs him, he's there like nothing. I love that. He's like, do you support UI? And he's like, oh, well, I mean, we thought it's good to have you back and everything, but, you know, you have your consideration, but I mean, you should just stay here and heal your wounds and, you know, don't worry about anything. But I mean, like circling the question, he's like, UI has done a great job during your absence these days. So the elders already agreed to elect him 10 days from now at the conference, basically. And that's when Yan Wushi's like, what a shame. Look at that. What a shame. He stole the leadership when the chief was missing. Don't disguise it in a decent way. I mean, basically he just said that he supports UI more than Shen Qiao. And UI's like, look. He says, whether you believe it or not, I dispatched people to search for you after you fell off the cliff. I don't believe that, though. Because one, why would Shen Qiao believe that? You conspired with Kunye. You conspired even if you thought he was going to fall off the cliff. Did you really send people after him? Or did Yan Wushi just happen to stroll up and see Shen Qiao as soon as it happened before anybody else showed up? Was the timing that good? Really? He's like, but we couldn't find you. Most of our people in the search of you haven't come back. I'm like, I don't believe that. He's been gone for like weeks. No, I don't believe that. He's like, I thought later. And so we get two voices talking at once. We have UI saying, we came to know someone, as Shen Qiao says, despite all the hardships elsewhere, I thought Mount Xuandu would still be my home. And then he's like, oh, we thought some other people found you in Funing County. I feel so bad for Shen Qiao in this moment because he really thought that when he came back, they would welcome him back and it would be fine. But he comes back and finds out they really just want to like hold him hostage so they can get what they want out of him. And they're not considering him at all. I know that UI was like, oh, we'll heal you. But like, really? Really? He's like, we dispatched some people to Funny County. He's like, I didn't expect Mount Xuandu. He's like, he says all the people they dispatched there were killed. Now, were the people that they dispatched to go there the ones at the inn where Yan Wushi attacked and killed them? Were those guards? I mean, dispatched to find him wasn't really what went down. So, he's like, Mount Xuandu was no longer what it used to be. And that's when Yan Xun says, well, maybe they were killed by a leader of the evil gang. Which I like that Yan Wushi's like, hi, me, that's me. It doesn't matter if they were killed by the King of Evils or not. But killing you would be a disgrace to me. So he just pushes him back like, damn. I do also respect Yan Wushi that he's like, I'm not going to kill you two because you are Qi Fengge's disciples. Not going to kill you, but back off. So we're going to do that. Also, Shen Qiao will be mad at me if I killed you, so not going to do that. I like you guys, like, don't be arrogant. Master taught me sincerely. Although, what does he say there? He's like, although we can't defeat you, he passed the leadership of Mount Xuandu to me when he was dying. Oh, our historic reputation, but today we have internal conflicts. They won't be tainted by you freely. Oh. And he's like, I'll show you what arrogance means. Yan Wushi saying that. I feel so bad for Shen Qiao. He's like, man, everything is just as bad as he told me it was going to be. He's like, Qiao, let me show you. I like he calls him Xiao. Let me show you something interesting. Yan Wushi came with receipts. He's like, I came with receipts that I found. Let me just, he's like, I know you're confused right now and you're rethinking everything, but if I could just pull this out and just read this receipt that's going to destroy these two, let me do that, please. He says, oh, we have two more people here. Let me read it out live for you. Oh, that's such a movie. He's like, oh, Shen Qiao, let me read you this receipt I found. Oh, wait, these two bitches are here. Let me read it out loud so everyone can hear. What a bitch. Love it. Love it. The target has returned and the arrangements have been made at the oral order of Kunye, Duke of the Left. Poor Shen Qiao. Qiao must stay in Mount Xuandu. There is one more letter here. Make sure Qiao takes the deadly reunion before fighting. Poor Shen Qiao. He's just like, And he realizes that basically, yeah, UI and everything was premeditated. It was planned beforehand. So UI basically was lying to him. He says, what a shame. Qi Fengge personally stopped the evil ambitions of Hu Lugu. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Yan Wushi respects and seems to have cared for Qi Fengge, and Qi Fengge was against like the evil Hu Lugu. So I mean, they call Yan Wushi evil, but I'm like, is he really? Because he seems like he supports Qi Fengge, who seemed like a pretty righteous guy. I didn't expect his disciples would conspire with Bimu. Poor Shen Qiao, like the room is spinning around him. You did it even worse than... What does he say there? Because he's like about to say... He says, you did it even worse than the evil gang. And that's when Shen Qiao's like, enough. Oh, our poor Bean. He's like... and then I love that the song starts. The moment the romance song starts, I'm like, yes. And Shen Qiao's just like, I need to leave here. This is not the place I called home. I feel so bad for him. Bless it. And he's just so sincere. And I love he looks up at his home and it's just not the same that he knew before. And he does like the little bow to Qi Fengge. Oh, being like, sorry, I'm going to have to leave. Oh, this is such a good scene. Such a moving scene. I love this. It's so sad, but it's so well done. And Yan Wushi's like, oh, He says, Master, I am sorry. And I like that UI is like, why is he apologizing? Is he planning to leave? And Yan Wushi's like, is he planning to leave? They both have the same thing. Oh. And then he's about to fall. And that's when Yan Wushi gets him. I freaking love it. Yep. Now, to the credit of these two, when he's about to fall, and his eyesight is blurry in that moment, so he can almost see again, he does go to fall. Oh yeah, those two, to be fair, UI and Yanchen did go to grab him, but they just want to keep him so that he can be a puppet chief. But they did go to grab him, and then Yan Wushi's like, oh bitch, I'm so much faster than you. Now, everybody starts coming out of their houses hearing something with the chief. They're going to think, you know that UI and Yanchun, you know that those two are going to spin this. You know that they're going to make up a story that Yan Wushi took Shen Qiao away. Or they're either going to say that or say that Shen Qiao betrayed the sect. You know that UI and Yanchen are going to say that. You know they are. Because as soon as they're not going to be like, oh, well, Shen Qiao actually wanted to leave because we're a bunch of betrayers. No, they're not going to say that. They're going to blame it on the two of them. Where's the chief? What happened? He's like, it isn't too late for you to regret it. He's like, chief, there he is. And then Shen Qiao saying, take me away. Yan Wushi's like, well, that's what I wanted to hear this whole time. Why, thank you. He's like, don't mind if I do. Bye. He's just like, yes. He's like, I win. I know that I compared Kunye to Yzma, but he is a little kept being like, I win. Yes. So yeah, and then they go away. And him just laughing like, ha 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 ha. Sex is closer than ever for me. And UI's like, you're so shameless. Love it. I cannot wait to read the novel. I cannot wait to read this in the novel. I'm really curious the perspective it's going to be in because Shen Qiao is blind during this. So that's going to be interesting. You shameless guy. I mean, yes, but we love him for it. Freaking love him. I thought that was going to be the end of the episode, but no. We get a lovely little scene in the woods. Look, I just need... I don't know if the wood scene in the novel is going to be steamy, but I really hope it is. I don't think it will be, but I really hope it is. But it probably won't be because Donmai don't give you the steaminess to like 3/4 of the way through at least usually. And he's like, what was the point? It just proved what I said. Integrity is valueless before interests. Chief Fengge took himself as a righteous person, but his disciples behaved in our way. It really is a great pity. Oh, poor Shen Qiao. He's like, I already know what you're telling me. Is that rest enough for you now? Battle with me. Yan Wushi wants him to battle like he's asking for sex. That's literally what he is. He's like, battle with me. He's like, oh, Leader Yan. He's like, how can I battle with you? I'm only 30% as powerful as normal and wounded. I can't do that. And he's like, well, that's why I show mercy and allow you to have some rest here. He's like, we're going to sleep on this wood floor in the forest, as you can see. But he doesn't really allow him rest. He still fights after him. He's like, no, you can't fool me. You're stronger than you look. You're stronger than you think. Yeah. Like the reflection in the spring water and gentle waves, the love that is disappointed forever. It deserves that reputation. Has your love for Mount Xuandu been disappointed forever? Damn, I'm really curious what Yan Wushi's overall game is. I know he's trying to get Shen Qiao back to full health and give him the celerity, but I'm curious. Now, Shen Qiao is getting his hearing still intact even if he can't see. He says, with gentle breezes, deal with the surge of water and the force of wind. I love it. Unfortunately, they touch fingers like what happened with UI. And I don't know if he's trying to ignite whatever is with his chi in the celerity. So he starts to like gain all that ability back. He's trying to help him. We don't know exactly why. What's the point of it? And yeah, Shen Qiao's like, but why did you do this? There's all these swords. The will of the sword is the will of Tao. If there isn't a space on the ground, there isn't a space where you stand. If you can't see any light, you have it in your head. I used to feel at a loss and painful with the betrayal of intimates. Despite all those troubles, setbacks, and difficulties, I feel calm and peaceful. So I don't know if like part of the celerity, like the inaction celerity, is like a way to calm him and like get him to be tranquil, if that's part of the book, because he talks about he used to be like anxious and, you know, feeling disappointed, and now this helped calm him down. I don't know if that's part of it, and Yan Wushi like tapped into that. I don't have without joys and sorrows inside now. So yeah, and then we have this like digivolution with the swords and the yin and yang. So curious. Anyway, then it cuts to it being the moon. He's like, you got that real essence of swordsmanship. Oh, I'm sure that Yan Wushi is very concerned about the essence inside of Shen Qiao and pulling it out. So my mind is in the gutter today. Can you blame me? Can you blame me? He says 1 for 2, 2 for 3, and 3 for all. Well, that sounds like the swords. The 3 swords they're talking about. Then he's like, I finally got it. I finally have a comparable opponent. Let's get started. I feel like Yan Wushi, part of it is he wants Shen Qiao to be as strong as Qi Fengge so they can fight, but his definition of fight may have an extension to it that is not safe for the Chinese government, so we'll see. And then his force accidentally throws Shen Qiao back into the tree. Poor Shen Qiao. Shen Qiao has had like 2 run-ins with a solid object, a digivolution, and has had his heart broken. So that's sad. Poor him today. And then he like rushes over. He's like, you received my palm despite your damaged base, despite your wish for death, but I'm not going to satisfy your wish. He's like, you don't get to die just because you're sad. No, no, no. This scene here, though, when he grabs his chin. Oh my God. And he says, don't you feel tired? Don't you want to go ape shit? And then they show us the close-up of Shen Qiao's face, and it's the most angelic thing in the world. Yep, all your friends and brothers have betrayed you. You're badly injured, and you have to leave Mount Xuandu, and you've lost everything. Don't you have any hatred for them? Don't you want to kill those betrayers? Okay, can we have a hot second to talk about Heaven Vigil's Blessing? I do need to put spoilers up for this part because it is a spoiler section, because he says, I can help you. It is that. I just want to point this out, and if you've not read Heaven Vigil's Blessing, that's why I have the spoilers, so that you don't see this, just skim past for like the next 20 seconds. I've been comparing Yan Wushi to Hua Chong, but in this moment here, where he's up in Shen Qiao's face saying that he's like, I could help you get betrayal against them. I could help you get revenge. I could help you do that. I know that it's something that Hua Chong might suggest, but here's the thing. Hua Chong would not want Shen Qiao to get hurt. So I don't think he would suggest that. But Xuandu would. So it's almost like Yan Wushi is this weird combination of Xuandu and Hua Chong, but the Hua Chong love and respect outweighs Xuandu's creepiness. So, but Xuandu would give him like the evil ideations of let's just get revenge. Like that's totally up his alley. So Yan Wushi is like this very weird combination of Hua Chong and Xuandu, and I'm not mad about it. I actually kind of like it. So that's my Heaven Official Blessing spoilers. Enough of that. But he says, I can help you. And Shen Qiao's like, just do as you wish and kill whoever. Oh, well, he says, no, that is Yan Wushi saying, do as you wish and kill whoever you wanted. They betrayed you first. You don't owe them anything. So then he has like the sky, like short-circuiting above him. Like you can almost see it. Men are born evil. Now, do we believe that all men are born evil? Well, no, I don't. But Yan Wushi does. As he's bridal carrying his love away, I wonder if there is anyone who remains as devoted as ever despite all the setbacks. If there is, Qiao, will you be the one? So he wants him to be this pure angel, but why? What's the purpose? What are we doing? And now he's carrying him away. I just, okay. All right. I've almost talked for an hour about this episode, but it was so freaking good. It was so good. This series has hit its stride, and I am really into it. So y'all, I need to know your thoughts down below. Please no spoilers. Spoiler tag them if you got them. But I need to know what you thought of this episode. What you think of Yan Wushi. Please no novel spoilers. I'm going to get to the novel. Don't you worry. But oh my gosh, I hope you enjoyed this reaction and my rambles and my fangirling. I look forward to this series so much because I'm really into Yan Wushi. And Shen Qiao. I love Shen Qiao as well. So we're going to see what happens to the next week. I'm so excited. But in any case, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I will be back very soon with more of Thousand Autumns. And I'll see you then. Bye.